All right, so today we're diving deep,
Oh, this is gonna be good.
into this whole hustle and acceptance thing.
Yeah.
That constant
Uh,
push and pull between chasing those big dreams,
yeah.
and finding peace just where you are right now. We've
Mm-hmm.
got some fascinating sources that really dig into how
I know. I was really.
these seemingly opposite forces can actually work together.
Yeah.
Really fascinating stuff.
It's such a relevant topic, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Especially these days.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? We're just bombarded with all these messages
Yes.
about crushing it, leveling up, never settling.
Hustle, hustle, hustle.
But then you've got this whole counter movement
Right.
emphasizing mindfulness
Yeah.
and being present, finding that contentment.
Right. Right.
So where's the balance?
Yeah. Where is it?
What's the sweet spot?
That's the question.
Right.
That's the $1,000,000
A
question.
$1 million question.
Our sources today really go deep into that
Okay.
tension.
Yeah.
They start by, they break down
Yeah.
those two core concepts.
Yep.
Hustle, as you might guess, is all about that relentless pursuit,
Yep.
that go-getter mentality.
Right. Which is often glorified, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Big time.
we're supposed to be hustling all the time.
Yeah.
But it can lead to some serious burnout
Oh, for sure.
if we're not careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's acceptance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't about giving up.
No.
It's about finding that sense of contentment,
Right.
Where you are, like recognizing your inherent worth,
Totally.
regardless of, all the external
The
achievements.
external stuff.
Right. The crazy thing is our sources
Okay, yeah.
are arguing that these two things, they're not
mutually exclusive.
mutually exclusive. They can actually enhance each other.
They can, yeah. That's pretty cool.
Okay, so how do we reconcile
Yeah.
these seemingly opposite
Right.
forces?
The paradox.
How do we find that sweet spot between ambition,
Yeah.
and contentment?
Well, one of our sources
Okay.
uses a really powerful anecdote
Okay.
to kind of illustrate this point.
I love a good story.
The story of an archer, right?
Okay.
Who was renowned for his pinpoint accuracy.
Oh, wow.
Like, this guy was the epitome of focus.
Yeah.
Completely in the zone.
Totally.
But then during this, high stakes competition,
Oh,
this wealthy challenger
here we go.
starts dangling all these rewards.
Exactly, yeah.
Gold, a house, you name it.
Oh, I bet I know what happens next.
What happened?
I feel like all this pressure just throws him off.
You got it.
Right.
You got it.
Like he misses his mark completely.
Misses the mark.
Right.
Completely.
Oh, man.
What's fascinating is the psychology behind it.
Okay. Yeah, tell me more.
When we get so caught up in those potential outcomes and rewards, our focus just shifts away from the present to this future.
Oh, that's so true.
That hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it creates all this anxiety and this tension.
Right.
And ultimately, as the archer's story shows, it can sabotage us.
Yeah. That's so true.
Our performance can just...
I can totally relate to that feeling of choking under pressure.
Oh, yeah.
It's like your mind is just racing a mile a minute.
A mile a minute.
You can't quiet the noise.
I can't quiet it.
Yeah.
That's where acceptance comes in.
Okay.
It's not about, lowering your standards or
no.
becoming complacent. It's about cultivating this state of mind where you're fully present.
Oh,
You're
wow.
engaged in the task at hand without all that mental baggage of what might or might not happen.
Right, right.
John Kabat-Zinn,
Oh, yeah.
a pioneer in mindfulness research, talks about this as developing a non-judgmental awareness of the present moment.
So it's like silencing that inner critic.
Yes.
That voice that's constantly analyzing and judging and predicting
the voice,
the future. Yeah.
Exactly. And research by Kristen Neff, who's a leading expert in self-compassion, shows that this kind of self-acceptance, treating ourselves with kindness, and understanding, especially during, tough times.
Oh, sure.
Actually enhances our resilience.
Oh, wow.
And ability to bounce back.
So it's not just about feeling good in the moment.
No.
It's about
it's equipping
ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
To handle those challenges,
Yes, absolutely.
that come with striving.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it leads us to another really key concept from our sources.
Okay, I'm ready.
Building an internal anchor.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
An internal anchor. What exactly does that mean?
So think of it like your inner compass.
Go ahead.
Your source of stability. amidst all the chaos of life.
Right.
It's about cultivating this sense of peace, this groundedness that doesn't depend on what's happening around you.
So it's like, regardless of the external.
Regardless, yeah. It's what allows you to weather the storms, Stay true to yourself.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So how do we build this internal anchor?
Right.
This sounds pretty powerful.
Our sources, they suggest a 5-step process.
Okay.
And interestingly, the first step kind of circles back to that archer analogy, knowing your values.
Okay, I can see the connection there.
Yeah.
Like if that archer, if he was really connected to that pure joy of archery itself, maybe those external rewards wouldn't have been such a distraction.
Exactly.
Right.
When your goals are truly aligned with your values, with what matters most to you, the journey becomes more fulfilling. Right. You're not just driven by the validation, the external validation.
Right. You're driven by
this intrinsic sense of purpose.
Okay, so your values become like your guiding light.
Your guiding light, yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Helping you navigate those moments of doubt or pressure.
And it really sets the stage for the other steps
Right.
in building this internal anchor.
I'm ready to hear more.
Let's do it.
Let's unpack those next steps.
So building on that solid foundation of knowing your values.
Okay.
The next step is all about gratitude.
Okay.
Now, this might sound...
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, it might sound a little cliche.
I know the whole gratitude thing gets thrown around a lot.
It does. It does.
But I'm curious, like, how does it tie into this whole internal anchor idea?
Yeah. So think about it this way.
Okay.
When we're constantly focused on what we're lacking, on what we're striving for, it kind of creates this sense of lack, right?
Right.
We're always wanting more.
It's like we're running on that treadmill.
Yeah.
Always chasing that next milestone.
Exactly.
But never really arriving.
Never arriving. You're always chasing.
Yeah.
But gratitude, it shifts our perspective.
Okay.
It's about intentionally acknowledging the good.
Okay.
The good things in our lives, big and small.
So appreciating what you have right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Appreciating the present moment.
Yeah.
Even amidst all the chaos,
Yeah.
all the challenges.
Tough stuff.
And studies have shown,
Really?
that practicing gratitude can actually rewire our brains.
Wow.
Making us more optimistic, more resilient.
So it's not just about feeling good, like in that moment.
No.
It's like a long-term.
It's about building a more positive, resilient mindset.
I gotcha.
Overall.
Yeah.
And this brings us to the third step.
Okay.
Cultivating mindfulness and self-compassion, which, we kind of touched on these earlier.
You mentioned like Kabat-Zinn and Neff.
Yes.
I'd love to hear a little bit more about their work. Like, how does it connect to this idea of an internal anchor?
Yeah. So Kabat-Zinn, he developed this program called mindfulness-based stress reduction.
That's a mouthful.
MBSR, yeah.
Okay.
It's been shown to be so effective for reducing stress, anxiety, chronic pain.
Wow.
The core principle is cultivating a non-judgmental awareness of the present moment,
So it's like noticing your thoughts and feelings.
Yes.
But not getting totally swept away by them.
Yes, not getting swept away. It's like creating space between you and your thoughts, allowing you to respond.
Respond, not react.
Respond, not react, exactly.
That's huge.
Yes.
Especially when we're talking about this whole balance.
Absolutely.
Between hustle and acceptance.
Yes.
Because if you're constantly reacting to every thought, every feeling, you're going to be all over the place.
Yeah, you're going to get pulled off course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, self-compassion, as Kristen Neff describes it, is about extending that same kindness and understanding to ourselves.
Oh, that's tough.
It is tough.
I feel like it's easier to be kind to others sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
Than to ourselves.
It's so easy to be hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
We hold ourselves to such high standards.
Unrealistic standards sometimes.
Yeah.
But research shows that self-compassion is so essential for well-being.
Okay.
It reduces stress. It increases motivation. It fosters a more positive self-image.
So it's not about like letting yourself off the hook or becoming complacent.
No. It's about
being more supportive, right?
Yes. Creating a more supportive inner environment.
Yeah, like that internal.
Where you can thrive.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, creating that space.
And this leads beautifully into the fourth step.
Okay.
Reframing success. Ooh. I like this one.
This is a good one.
I have a feeling this ties into everything we've been talking about.
It does. It does. You see, Our sources argue that we often view success as this destination, this endpoint that we're constantly striving for.
The finish line.
The finish line. And when we fall short, we feel like failures.
We feel like we're not enough.
We feel like we're not enough, yeah.
Right.
But what if we shifted our perspective and we viewed success as a continuous journey?
Oh, so it's not about the destination.
It's not about the destination.
Right.
It's about
the journey.
The journey.
It's about finding joy in the process.
Right, right.
In the growth, the learning that happens along the way.
Yeah, yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Rather than just focusing on that end result.
Right. So it's about celebrating the small wins.
Yes.
The daily efforts.
Yes.
The lessons learned from setbacks. Yeah. The lessons learned. Exactly.
It's like giving yourself permission.
Permission, yeah.
To enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. Exactly.
Even when it's bumpy.
Even when it's bumpy, because it's gonna be bumpy.
Oh, it's gonna be bumpy.
There's gonna be bumps along the way.
Right. It's not gonna be...
It's not a straight line.
Straight line, yeah.
It's gonna have twists and turns.
Exactly.
And that brings us to the fifth and final step.
Okay. Hit me.
Defining enough.
Okay. Ooh.
That's a loaded word.
It is a loaded word.
Yeah. Like, what does enough even mean?
What does it mean?
Does it mean, like, lowering my expectations?
No, no, no.
Or settling for mediocrity?
No, no, no.
Right.
Not at all.
What is it?
It's about consciously choosing.
Okay.
What truly matters. What brings you a sense of fulfillment, of purpose.
Okay.
Aligning your actions with those values.
So it's about getting clear on, like, what you want your life to stand for.
Yes.
Not just what you want to achieve.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's about defining your own version of success.
Your own version, yes.
Right.
Not based on, comparison to others.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we get so caught up in...
me too.
That whole, like, more is better.
More.
Always striving for that next level.
The next level.
That we forget to ask ourselves.
The simple question.
What actually brings us joy?
What brings us joy? What brings us contentment?
Yeah.
It's about reclaiming that power.
Yeah.
Deciding what matters to you.
Yeah.
Creating a life that reflects those values.
Yes. I'm so on board with this.
I am too.
It's like giving yourself permission to stop chasing external validation.
Yes.
And instead define success.
On your own terms.
On your own terms.
Exactly. And when you can do that, when you can define enough for yourself, it takes so much pressure off.
Really?
It allows you to both hustle towards your goals with passion and dedication while also appreciating the present moment, finding contentment right where you are.
That's powerful.
It is powerful.
This has been so insightful.
I'm glad.
I feel like it's given me a whole new framework for thinking about how I approach, like, work and life.
Absolutely. It's a journey,
And speaking of journeys,
yes,
as we wrap up this deep dive today, I want to leave our listener with a thought.
Okay.
To ponder.
I like it.
Now that we've explored this this dance, between hustle and acceptance.
Yes.
What's one small step you can take today to either embrace your hustle or cultivate more acceptance in your life?
What's one small step?
Yeah, what's one small step? I was thinking about that archer we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Even if he was, like, totally content with his skill, wouldn't the pressure of the competition, like, still be a factor?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And it highlights, a really important part of this balance we're talking about. Defining enough.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we just become, like, indifferent to outcomes or stop challenging ourselves.
So it's not about eliminating ambition.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's about how we approach it.
So how we approach ambition.
Yeah, it's about finding that sweet spot where we can, strive for excellence, push our limits, embrace healthy competition.
Right.
But without tying our self-worth to the outcome.
So we can still celebrate the wins,
Yes.
Feel the sting of setbacks.
Yes.
But our core sense of self, it stays the same.
It remains unshaken.
It's unshaken, yeah.
Exactly. It's like developing an inner resilience that allows us to,
ride the waves.
The ups and downs, without getting totally derailed.
Right.
And it's something we can cultivate,
Through those 5 steps.
Through those 5 steps.
Talked about, right.
Knowing our values, practicing gratitude, embracing mindfulness and self-compassion. Yeah. Reframing success as a journey.
It's like building a foundation.
Yeah.
Like an internal anchor.
An internal anchor.
That keeps us grounded.
Grounded no matter what.
No matter what, yeah.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
When we operate from this place, this grounded place, we're actually more likely to perform at our best.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like when you're not so worried about failing,
yes,
you can just focus on the task at hand.
Exactly. You free up all that mental and emotional energy.
Right.
To be present, to be creative, to be adaptable.
Yeah.
And even if things don't go our way, we're better equipped to learn from it.
Right.
And keep moving forward.
This whole conversation has been so helpful.
I'm so glad.
It's given me like a new way to think about how I approach things.
It's a journey.
It is a journey.
It's a lifelong journey. It's of exploration.
And speaking of journeys.
Yes.
As we wrap up this deep dive today.
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
I like it.
We've explored this dance between hustle and acceptance.
Yeah.
What's one small step you can take today?
Okay.
To either embrace your hustle or cultivate more acceptance in your life?
Maybe it's setting aside some time for that passion project.
Right, that you've been putting off.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just taking a moment to acknowledge 3 things you're grateful for.
Oh, I like that.
Before bed, every small step matters.
Every small step.
No matter how small, contributes to that larger journey.
It all adds up.
It all adds up.
That's a great point.
It's not about making huge changes overnight.
It's about those
the small things.
Sustainable changes.
Sustainable, exactly.
Right.
It's a journey, not a destination.
That's such a good reminder.
Be patient with yourself. Embrace the process.
Yeah.
And enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. That's perfect.
Yes.
That's a perfect note to end on.
I agree.
Until next time, keep diving deep.